Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Inside of today's video, we're going to be taking a look at quite possibly one of the most broken brawlers within this meta. This brawler, I was a little bit apprehensive on putting them towards the top 10, but I think they're definitely top 10, maybe even pushing top 5 within this meta. So before we jump into the video, then make sure you're using the create code. That'd be greatly appreciated. And also check out this amazing gift that Supercell did send to all the creators. It's quite a cool flex on the profile. So yep, without further ado, let's jump right into it. Alright guys, so jumping into the brawler, which I think is definitely a top 10, if not top 5 within this meta, it has to be Grom. So Grom is a brawler that I did mention in my top 5 ranking video the other day, but I was kind of a bit apprehensive on putting him so high up on the list. But this time around, I think Grom is definitely a brawler you've got to be scared of in the meta. Of course, ladder might be a little bit well, no, not really sus, but just pretty hard to play him all the time, right? Because there's going to be a bunch of mortars and a bunch of tanks on ladder, but in competitive, it's a different ball game. And even if you're playing with friends, as long as you pair Grom up with, I don't know, like a tank counter, like Ems, for example, Griff, I don't know, the list goes on, you're definitely going to have a great time with Grom. And the best thing about him is that you can also play him as a mid or a lane, so whether you want to play him in gem grab or a game mode like that, you should be able to have a good time. So I'm spending way too much time on this Mortis. Of course, Mortis is going to easily run up against a Grom, but look at that gadget, by the way. The gadget has gone from like one of the weaker gadgets I thought in the game. Like, I felt whenever I popped to this gadget beforehand, it was so incredibly difficult to get any value out of it. But now, because his main projectile is just so much easier to hit, it's actually pretty decent. So we're going to hit our super here on the Mortis. Hopefully he's actually going to get out in time, but that's going to be the kill onto Dynamite, and we're surely going to get Mortis down right there in the corner. I'm just leaving my tick and Mortis to deal with that one. Got to be a little bit careful of the grey, and somehow the Mortis gets away, but surely our Mortis can clean up and get the rest of the gems. So of course, the same format with this video. I'll be going in every single game trying to get a win and explain to you guys why Grom is so good, and then at the end I'll be going into some Power League just to finish things off and show the real power of the Grom. So Grace just got to teleport into that ticket, and you know, although I've probably spent too much time focusing on the Mortis inside of this game, you just see the potential with it in terms of a gadget and super. So that's going to be the first game. Let's hop into the next one. Okay, so now jumping into the next game mode, we have Heist. So this is probably the worst Heist map to show off how strong he is, because there's so many tanky brawlers on Tornado Ring. So I actually switched out the gadget. I was trying to use the other gadget, I think it's called Radio Check, I can't remember, basically with the free ammos, because if you didn't know, on Heist, with that gadget, you can deal 33% of the hive of percentage basically on the high safe, which is pretty insane for a brawler like Grom, because you can just keep a safe distance and continuing to chip down the enemy high safe. You know, over time that's going to accumulate to a lot of damage. So the main reason why I think he's so strong on Heist, there isn't really too many aggressive brawlers right now, and a lot of time in a Heist, you know, of course, it really comes down to who has the biggest damage dealers on the team. Like, you just see a lot of 8-bit right now in the meta, a lot of just high damage brawlers, you know, Colette, Colt, Brock, for example, and Grom definitely fits in this category. Of course, just get overwhelmed by those aggressive brawlers, but it's just all down to like how you draft him. So again, we can just leave this BB away and just continue to use our X Factor star power and get some great damage. Look at this, it should be pretty much the end of the game. And yeah, as I mentioned, literally on every single Heist map near enough, he's going to be such an insane pick, just being able to chip away at a safe distance. So that's going to be Heist. Let's hop into the next game. Alright guys, jumping into the next game mode. So Brawl is actually going to be more so one of his weaker game modes, specifically on ladder, because every single time I load in with randoms, you know, there's El Primos, there's Mortises, BBs, all of those really aggressive brawlers, and it's pretty hard to be safe from them when you're playing on ladder. But overall, I think Brawl is definitely a good option for him, because a lot of times in Brawl, last picks are really good. So for example, on this map, you know, Barley is a really strong last pick in competitive. Super Peach, same again, like Barley, Sprout, really strong last picks, and I feel like Grom is even better for that category right now. So that's why you can definitely get a lot of usage out of him right now, and especially with this gadget on sneaker fields, even on those maps where you probably wouldn't think it would be too usable on, this gadget just completely hold counters so many different brawlers, because of course you can just literally scout at the click of a button. This gadget's always been pretty strong, so hopefully that super knocks him back in time. Unfortunately, actually, we can get that ball away in time. Hopefully the Shelly can just run up. But yeah, I wouldn't really advise just going into like a random game like me and playing Grom, because it probably wouldn't work. That's why I don't feel like he'll be like a #1 brawler. #2 is still because he's not that type of brawler, you know, like Otis, for example, or Buster, where no matter the composition or map, you can just run into anyone without even thinking and just delete them. Chester as well, you know, you can just do that. And Grom, you can't really do that. You still need a little bit of skill. But overall, just one infuriating thing is I have no idea why they actually buffed this. It double buffed him if you're wondering like how he became so strong. So they increased his damage, I believe, by 5% off the top of my head. But this is just insane damage now for Grom. But not only that, they made it so easy to, of course, hit his shots. They increased his projectile speed by 10%. Which is just insane to me. Like Grom, I always felt like he wasn't the best brawler, but you know, the right player with a Grom could absolutely dominate. He had his small niche in like knockout and bounty, which I was okay with, but now it's just too toxic. Way easy to hit your shots consistently, and it's so hard to play against him. That's going to be Brawl. Let's hop into the next game. Alright guys, jumping into the next game mode, we have Bounty. So this is actually one of his strongest game modes. He always was really strong on Bounty. Again, we're kind of paired with two throwers, so I don't know how strong I can really, like, how good I can show Grom inside of this game. But again, I'll show him off in Power League, and then you'll get the true feeling of him. So we're going to pop Gadget right here, and that's going to be basically both of those guys taken down. Again, showing the power of this Gadget. If you know for sure you can get some decent connections on, you can just literally delete a brawler, because with 3 shots, you can deal like 6k damage, which will kill, I don't know, basically every single meta brawler within the game, right? So again, gonna look for one of these guys to overextend, and I can easily just pop my Gadget. Gene has to jump back there, because 2 shots is gonna make him like 1k HP. Again, insane. And another fun fact is when your damage gear is popped, you will deal 2,600 damage at max range. So just think about that. With 2 pieces of ammo, that's 5,200 damage, which surely, I don't know how many brawlers at 2 shots. Someone will know it in the comment section. I'm not really nerdy with that sort of thing, but you know, I reckon he 2 shots more than half of the brawlers in the game, or nearly half of the brawlers in the game, which to me is just insane as a thrower. It shouldn't be that easy just to delete brawlers. So I'm gonna pop our super right here, and if this Fang wants to face off against my Gadget, oh, unfortunately wasn't able to connect. But maybe again we can keep this damage gear active, because we'll literally be able to 2 shot so many of these guys. Fang's just gonna jump onto me. Unfortunately, he doesn't really have too many ways to defend himself, Grom. But again, just remember back to when he was first released, he literally hard countered aggro brawlers. So I'm just glad he's not in that state. I don't think Grom will get to that state where he will counter the tanks again, thankfully, but that's going to be it. Easy enough win. Again, Bounty is strongest game mode. I can just run through literally everyone. It's just so easy. I don't even have to use my brain to hit the shots against these guys. So that's going to be Bounty. Let's hop into the next one. All right, guys, jumping into the final game of the video. We'll be showing you the 2 winning rounds, hopefully, with this game then. So in terms of Grom then, so I feel like Grom now is going to be banned pretty much all of the time in Power League. So that's why I'm not really showing him in the best type of draft, because I feel like I shouldn't have really drafted him here. But still, I can just bully this Surge. I can keep him off at first level, and we should be able to get the goal right here. That's going to be the Surge down, and specifically on a map like Super Beach, you know, really heavily favors those thrower last picks, and just showing off here how strong the Grom can be. So we're going to pop Gadget onto this Surge. It's going to be Surge literally deleted in half a second. Unfortunately, I completely whiffed my super, and we do make another error. See, I'm not really the best Grom, but a good Grom would have probably ended up scoring there with a super. Good wall break in Brawl is also a good feature. And, you know, if you play in conjunction with other strong brawlers, you know, the wall break can actually work in your favor sometimes. So, got to bear that in mind. So, there's a couple of game modes that we haven't had the chance to talk about so far. So, Knockout, you guys know already, Grom is like one of the best brawlers. He's always been one of the better brawlers in Knockout. So, every single map and game mode, make sure you're trying to push or, of course, play Grom in Power League. But then you also have Hot Zones. Hot Zone, Duel and Beetles, you probably seen me play Grom the other day. You know, it actually is a pretty toxic pick on that map. But overall, I feel like Hot Zone is actually probably one of his more so weaker gamers, just because he doesn't have the most consistent kind of output, and he doesn't really have a lot of pressure on the zone, is what I'm trying to say. So like a Grom on the zone isn't going to be the best. So I wouldn't really recommend Grom too much on Hot Zone, but maybe if the opponent is playing some squishy brawlers, you could definitely get some good use out of it. So unfortunately, we're going to miss our super again here. Going to try and go in. I don't know, that was a bit of a dumb play again. If I was a bit more kind of in tune with Grom and played him a little bit more, again, I probably would have scored 2 goals by now, but hopefully we can still finish off this game and get the dub. I reckon the Surge has his super again, so got to be little bit careful of that one. Looks like Ash is going to get pretty much deleted here. We're going to definitely help him out. Looks like Buzz is going to charge in. That should be Buzz dead. And we're looking pretty decent right now. So again, in overtime, we're actually not the worst because Grom, out of all the throws, pretty much has one of the longest ranges. So not really too scared of the prospects of overtime right here. We're going to pop the gadget onto the Penny. Going to get a couple of shots onto her. But definitely scared of the Surge if he gets his super. And the Buzz as well. So Surge has super. Actually, he's pushing up though. He's got a kill onto Buzz. So that is pretty decent. But now going into overtime, I've got to really be sweating right here because things aren't looking the best. But that's going to be Surge one shot, so maybe things looking a bit better. Surge, oh, just can't get the finishing touch onto him, unfortunately. Looks like B is going to get taken down. Surge with his super is just so scary. I'm not able to just get anywhere near him because, of course, it will just delete me. And he's looking for the shot opportunity. Luckily, B does catch that one. And now with 30 seconds left, things still not looking the best. I mean, I spoke about how Grom isn't like the worst in overtime, but I just haven't hit a single shot right now. So yeah, things aren't looking entirely good. We're going to use our super to try and buy us a little bit of time. Super does allow us to get the kill right there. 10 seconds left. Let's see if we can get the goal in time. B does have that super charge, so maybe we can make a goal happen out of nowhere. B goes for it and actually manages to score. So somehow we actually managed to win that one. So even after a lot of terrible plays, we're able to get a first round win. So yeah, some clutch moments in the end right there. So again, if I just brushed up on some of my plays, this could have just been an easy walk in the park for me. So I was like, Buzz is going to try and push up a little bit, but I'm just absolutely deleting him with all my shots right here. Do waste my gadget. I shouldn't have really done that. I should have just kept up the consistent damage. Buzz thumbs down him because of how toxic the Grom is right now. And if we pass this ball over to the Ash, we might be able to score right here. So unfortunately, we save the B in time. And once this Surge does respawn, we're going to pop this gadget onto the Penny. That should be Penny. Okay, again, we missed both gadgets, so not really the best timing for us. Penny's just in the corner. We should be able to get the kill with a super. That's going to be the kill with the help of B. We're going to pop the gadget onto the Surge. And that is 3 out of 3 gadgets missed. Wow, I mean, you just couldn't write it. I'm trying to play Grom at the best of my abilities, and I'm just doing it terribly. Absolutely terrible right now, but it looks like Buzz has super, so really need to be careful of that one because we haven't really got any brawlers that can stop it. And yeah, that's why Ash should have definitely helped us out right here. Let's see if we can stop the Surge in time. Unfortunately, we can't. This is just why I shouldn't have really drafted a Grom in this situation because Surge and Buzz have so much aggression against us. It can sometimes overwhelm us, so gotta be careful. So for sure, I need to get onto this Surge matchup because Surge just completely hard counters Ash. Gonna use my super against him here. Okay, he does use his gadget to tank it, but we're looking pretty decent. Not sure why Ash isn't switching matchup. Surge is definitely the easier of matchups for me. That's gonna be Surge one shot. Now we can start to push up right here. It will have his super to dodge a few more attacks though, so gotta be careful of that one. Of course, gonna put a ball in a better position. Maybe we can score right here. That's gonna be the Surge dead. Buzz gonna use his super maybe. Gotta be careful of that one, but surely this is a goal. He's not gonna waste his super anytime soon, and surely B can just slot that one in. So now 30 seconds left on the clock. Again, overtime, I spoke about how overtime being like easy for me, but it actually isn't easy. These guys were dodging him quite easily, so I guess, you know, with a Grom it's pretty obvious, right? But you do need your walls to manipulate and hit your shots a little bit easier. So Buzz flashing his super, got to be really careful of that one. He is like one shot, so I can start to be a bit more aggressive onto him, but of course we can't just delete him because we are Grom, so got to keep our distance. Going to use our shots to try and destroy this Penny turret. We're going to use our super onto the Penny right here, and a 2v1 scenario. Looks like B should just be able to hopefully walk that one in. I'm not too sure what they are doing. That should have been definitely a goal scoring opportunity. And yeah, look at this. I just can't even hit the Surge when he's up close. It's still ridiculously hard to get a shot onto him. Basically, you're kind of relying on your teammates to help you out a lot of the times with Grom. But 40 seconds left. We're looking good with B in overtime. Surge looking like he's going down right here. Should be able to pass this ball up. Hopefully Ash is getting a lot of pressure right here. We're one shot off of our super ourselves, so if we get this ball in a good position, we should be able to score this one. Actually, we're not going to use our super for the kick. We're going to get the kill onto Surge instead. And now with Buzz on the ball, we've got to be really careful. Casey's close to his super. The ball over to our Ash, and we should be able to get this goal scoring opportunity with an open goal right there. So both the games go into overtime, but I hope you guys enjoyed that one. You know, again, it wasn't the best scenario to actually use Gromman. Did pick him as a last pick, but it wasn't the best situation, because you kind of... That's literally one of his worst matchups, and it still win. I mean, I suppose that could actually be a good way, showing you just how strong he is, right? So, as I mentioned, like with Buzz and Searchers, some of the hardest brawlers once they start leveling up and start getting into the game to face off against, but we did a pretty decent job. So that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.